On the evening of April 17, 2019, the Elkwood 911 Dispatch Center received a chilling call that would spark one of the most haunting investigations in local history. At exactly 8:13 p.m., a female voice, trembling and hushed, came through the line. The caller whispered that someone was following her in the woods near Miller Creek. The call was brief, only 42 seconds long, and ended abruptly before she could give her name or exact location. The operator tried to call back, but the number was untraceable, connected to a prepaid burner phone with no registration details. Officers were immediately dispatched to the wooded area surrounding Miller Creek, but the search yielded nothing. There were no signs of distress, no dropped belongings, no vehicle nearby, only the quiet rustling of trees in the wind and the occasional hoot of an owl. It was as though the woman had simply vanished. The following day, news of the mysterious call circulated quickly through the small town. That's when a man named Adam Loring came forward to report his girlfriend, Erica Lane, missing. She hadn't returned home the night before, and calls to her phone went straight to voicemail. Erica was last seen leaving work at a local diner around 7:30 p.m. Her co-workers described her as calm but tired, showing no signs of fear or distress. The time of her disappearance closely aligned with the 911 call, and suspicion quickly grew that Erica was the unknown caller. The police now had a name, but no clues. The phone couldn't be located. Erica's car wasn't found near the woods or in town. For all intents and purposes, she had vanished without a trace. The search intensified, but the forest remained silent. As investigators dug deeper into Erica Lane's life, they began to uncover a version of her that few people really knew. On the surface, she appeared ordinary, a 25-year-old waitress working the evening shift at a local diner, living in a modest apartment with her boyfriend, Adam Loring. She had no criminal record, no history of substance abuse, and no recent disputes with anyone. Friends and co-workers described her as quiet, polite, and somewhat introverted. But when detectives began to examine her online presence, a far more complex picture started to emerge. Erica had been active on several online forums dedicated to unsolved crimes, disappearances, and conspiracy theories. Using the username ForestWatcher27, she had spent months researching women who had gone missing in rural parts of North Carolina, particularly those connected to wooded areas like Miller Creek. In her forum posts, she often speculated about a possible link between several cold cases that had long been forgotten by the public. Her posts were articulate but carried an underlying sense of paranoia. One entry, dated just 2 weeks before her disappearance, mentioned that she felt like someone was watching her when she walked near the edge of the forest. On her laptop, investigators found saved newspaper clippings, satellite images of Miller Creek, and GPS data showing she had visited the area multiple times over the past year. Most troubling was a folder labeled "They're Still Out There," containing files about 5 different women who had disappeared between 1987 and 2009, all in or near the Miller Creek region. None of the cases had ever been solved. Erica wasn't just interested in these disappearances, she was obsessed. The more investigators uncovered, the clearer it became, Erica may have been getting too close to something that someone wanted to keep buried. 2 weeks after Erica Lane's disappearance, search teams returned to the dense woods of Miller Creek with renewed focus. This time, they brought in trained cadaver dogs and expanded the perimeter beyond the initial area. The terrain was rugged, full of thorny underbrush and uneven trails rarely used by hikers. After several hours of searching, one of the dogs alerted near a narrow, overgrown deer trail. There, partially wedged between 2 tree roots, was a single white sneaker, worn and dirty, but undeniably Erica's. A few feet beyond it, hidden beneath a layer of fallen leaves, they discovered a torn strip of fabric later confirmed to be from the jacket Erica was wearing the night she vanished. The evidence raised hope, but also more questions. There were no drag marks, no blood, and no other signs of a struggle. It was as if she had simply vanished mid-step. As investigators pushed further along the trail, they stumbled upon something deeply unsettling, a handmade wooden marker, no more than 2 feet tall, carved crudely with the initials EL. It stood upright, stuck in the earth like a grave marker. Officers quickly began digging beneath it, expecting the worst. But instead of a body, they found nothing but untouched, undisturbed soil. Frustrated but not deterred, the team deployed a drone equipped with thermal imaging to scan the surrounding forest. The drone picked up an unusual heat signature near a collapsed hunter's cabin about half a mile away. When officers arrived, the structure appeared abandoned. Inside, they found dust-covered furniture, old beer cans, and, most disturbingly, a locked metal box filled with newspaper articles, Polaroid photos, and personal items belonging to several missing women. DNA testing would later confirm that the items didn't belong to Erica, but to 3 other women who had vanished from the same area over the last 30 years. As the investigation continued, detectives turned their attention to a key piece of overlooked evidence: security footage from a gas station located just a few miles from Miller Creek. The footage, taken around 7:45 p.m. on the night Erica disappeared, showed her calmly fueling her car. She appeared alone and unaware of anything unusual. However, something chilling emerged upon closer inspection. Reflected faintly in the gas station window was the blurred silhouette of a man standing across the street, partially hidden behind a row of trees. His posture was stiff, and he seemed to be watching Erica closely. Investigators enhanced the image and managed to make out a distinct emblem on the man's jacket, a patch from the Blue Ridge Hunting Lodge, an organization that had closed down in the late 1990s. The group had once owned large parcels of land around Miller Creek and had been loosely connected to unsolved disappearances in the area, though no direct links were ever proven. Digging into the lodge's records led investigators to a man named Gordon Willis, a former member with a history of violence. Gordon had reportedly died in a house fire 3 years earlier, and his death had been ruled accidental. But something didn't add up. Further investigation into Gordon's death revealed inconsistencies in the dental records used to confirm his identity. The body recovered from the fire had never been positively matched to Gordon through DNA. With court approval, the remains were exhumed and retested. The results were shocking: the body belonged not to Gordon Willis, but to an unidentified homeless man. That discovery blew the case wide open. Gordon had faked his death and disappeared. And now, the man who had once been a person of interest in previous missing persons cases was suddenly the prime suspect in Erica Lane's disappearance. Despite the revelation about Gordon Willis, no one could determine where he had gone or whether he was still alive. His last known address had been abandoned for years, and every lead went cold. Erica's case, like the others before hers, began to fade from public attention. Billboards came down, news coverage slowed, and search efforts were scaled back. Yet for those closest to her, and for the detectives still haunted by the case, questions remained unanswered. Who had been in the woods that night? What had Erica found that made her a target? And was she still out there somewhere? In 2022, a wildfire sparked by lightning tore through a section of the Miller Creek forest. The blaze lasted 2 days and destroyed over 100 acres of thick, remote woodland. After the fire was contained, recovery crews combed through the area to assess the damage. That's when they discovered something partially buried beneath the charred roots of an old oak tree: a scorched but intact cell phone. It was later confirmed to be Erica Lane's missing device. Though the phone had been damaged by heat, specialists were able to recover limited data from its SIM card. Among the recovered files was a draft of a text message that had never been sent. The message read, "I found it. I'm not alone." There was no timestamp, no recipient. Just those 7 haunting words. For investigators, it was the first new piece of evidence in years, yet it raised more questions than it answered. What had Erica found? Who was with her? Was the phone planted, or had it remained hidden there all along? To this day, her body has never been found. The forest has grown back. The trail has gone cold again. And the silence around Miller Creek continues.